Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I'm going to be trying out your hidden drugstore gems. I got this idea from Allie Glines. I will link her video down below. But basically, I asked you guys on Instagram, what are some makeup products from the drugstore that no one's talking about that are absolutely incredible? And you guys came back with some really cool responses, and I'm so excited because only I think a couple of these items I've actually ever tried, and a lot of these are brand new to me. With that, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the most recommended primer was this Maybelline Master Prime. This Maybelline Master Prime comes in a lot of different types. Like there's one for redness, there's one for pretty much any skin concern you could have, but the one that was recommended was the Blur and Smooth, which is 100, so that's the one I'm going to be using. This is unopened. I bought this for this video. I think I've tried this before, like years ago, but it's been a really long time and I couldn't honestly tell you what I think about it. So I'm really excited to put this to the test. So it comes out like a white kind of lotiony consistency, which is surprising because usually these blurring primers come out like a silicone, like a clear silicone. So I'm gonna put that kind of in the center of my face. Wow, I can already see it kind of smoothing things out. And it's starting to dry down tacky. It doesn't stay feeling like a lotion, but now it feels like it's really settling in. It's not going to make my foundation go on slippery or anything like that. I don't know if you guys can see, but that definitely blurred my pore area. It sort of looks like I just put a powder on. So really nice recommendation. All right, for foundation, this one was the most recommended. This is the only product that I'm super familiar with out of all of these products. Anyone that's been watching my channel for any amount of time knows how much I love this foundation, but I wanted to include it because I do agree that it's a hidden gem that I don't hear very many people talking about. And it is the No. 7 Beautifully Matte Foundation. If you have oily skin and you like a good matte foundation, but you don't want it to be too matte, this is like the perfect happy medium. Definitely helps keep your skin looking flawless, looking matte throughout the day, but it has more of a skin-like finish than it does a super matte finish. And look how much that just perfected. Like I have a lot of stuff going on right now, and look how much that just perfected that side of my face. And I'm just using this Shop Miss A, it's like a $1 sponge, to apply it. Yes, I love this as much as I remember loving it. All right, next up is concealer, and the most recommended one was one that I tried. I think I did a first impression on it like 3-4 years ago. And I don't remember loving it in my first impression, but my skin has changed a lot since then, and it was just a first impression. So the most recommended concealer was this Neutrogena Hydro Boost Concealer. I got mine in the shade Light. It has sort of a lotion in the center, and then the pigment and the actual concealer is around that. So I'm just gonna go straight onto my face with this concealer, and it is so creamy, which I kind of expect if there's like a lotion within the product. So if you have dry under eyes, the way that this goes on, at least, I feel like this would be an amazing under eye concealer for dry eyes. A lot of times when there's I'm just using one of the brushes from that BH Cosmetics brush set I just raved about. But a lot of the times when a concealer is really hydrating, you kind of sacrifice coverage, but that's not the case with this one. I feel like as an under eye concealer, I'm really into this. I probably wouldn't use this to like highlight the center of my face or use it on the lid to prep for eyeshadow, just because it's so creamy and moisturizing. On my oily skin, I don't think that would last on me, but as an under eye concealer, super hydrating. It does not settle into my lines, and it just blends out seamlessly. Another win. You guys never steer me wrong. And just to conceal a few other areas on my face and prep my lids for eyeshadow, I'm gonna go in with my CoverGirl concealer. It's a little bit more on the matte side for around my face, just so I don't get super oily with the hydrating concealer. And this CoverGirl concealer is just another amazing drugstore concealer. For a while there, I feel like there were only really Maybelline concealers at the drugstore that were really good and comparable to high-end, and now, I mean, there is just everything you could possibly need at the drugstore. Okay, now that that's all blended out, I'm gonna go in with the 2 powders that were recommended. The first one is a little bit more talked about than the second one, and the first one is this NYX HD Finishing Powder. I'm gonna use this in the center of my face because it's sort of like that banana shade that's gonna lighten things up a good bit. And for that, I'm just gonna use my Real Techniques setting brush, just so I can really deposit the product only where I want it. Immediately just blurs everything and brightens. I've used this before and I absolutely love it. I'm also gonna set my lids with this just to prep again for eyeshadow. All right, and then for the rest of my face, I'm gonna use this Aquassurance Compact Foundation. So this is a powder foundation, but in the recommendation, the person said that they use this as a setting powder for foundation. So you could use this either way. I've only used this, I think, like one time. I couldn't tell you what I thought about it. So I'm excited to put it to the test, knowing that you guys love it. I have mine in the shade medium beige, so I'm gonna use this to set the kind of the perimeter of my face and keep the middle of my face nice and bright. And for that, I'm gonna be using another one of those BH Cosmetics brushes. It's definitely a little dark for me. It's probably why I never used it again. That looks really, really nice. And it feels like, my skin feels like skin. It doesn't feel like it's a super matte or super powdery finish, so I feel like this would even work on drier skin. This one is by JCat Beauty, if I didn't mention it. Right, next up is another hidden gem, and I feel like this is probably a hidden gem just because it's so new. I actually had purchased this for my next What's New at the Drugstore video, so this will still be in that video, but because this was recommended more than once, I wanted to include it in this one as well. And it is the CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed High Pigment Bronzer. Looking at it in the pan, it almost looks like a highlighter. Do you guys see that? It looks like it's gonna have a pretty intense sheen to it. So again, this is from the BH Cosmetics brush set. Oh wow. That is gorgeous. It's definitely bronzing me up a little bit, but it's also giving the most natural looking sheen. Do you guys see that? It's definitely not a highlighter. It's not that level of pigment, but I feel like you could almost skip highlighter with a product like this. If you enjoy a matte bronzer, you're probably not gonna love this. If you love like hourglass type of products where there's a little bit of a sheen, or like the e.l.f. Halo Glow, I feel like you're gonna love this. Oh my gosh, I love this. I'm like falling in love with it as I'm applying it. I think this is my favorite find from this video so far. All right, next up for blush, someone recommended just the classic CoverGirl blushes. These blushes just take me back to high school when I had no idea what I was doing with makeup, and the drugstore didn't really have the level of quality that it has now. And they always came with these little brushes, which, does anyone use these brushes? I'm gonna go ahead and take that out because I know I'm not gonna use it. But this shade was specifically recommended. Let's see what it's called. Soft Mink 590. And oh my gosh, that looks beautiful. I'm gonna use that same brush and apply it right on top of that bronzer. Wow, you guys. Wait, is this a highlighter? Do you see that? This is completely, wow. Holy moly, that is intense. Look at that glow. I should have used a highlighting brush. You guys, this is a hidden gem. How have I not tried this before? Okay, I think this one wins like most surprising award because I was not expecting to like it as much as I did, and I was not expecting it to have this type of highlight level glow. So wow. All right, next up is an eyeshadow palette, and I ordered this palette based off of your recommendations, and it actually broke in transit. I ordered it from Target, so that's a bummer, but it still looks absolutely beautiful, and I think I can make it work. This is the Makeup Geek So Grateful eyeshadow quad. I'm gonna start off with this transition shade there at the top and just put that through my crease and blend it up pretty far up toward my brow bone. I just want this to be like an all over wash. I barely tapped my brush in there, and that's gorgeous pigment. And this is a really nice transition color. It definitely has the purpley undertone to set the tone for the makeup look, but it's not too intense for days where you just want like a hint of purple. All right, next on this BH Cosmetics number 8 brush, I'm gonna take the darkest color, this like deep plum, and just put this on my outer corners, just to deepen it up a little bit and provide a little bit more definition. I always say purple is a really hard color to do in makeup, and these are super pigmented. Right now, I'm gonna try and get as much as that broken shimmer shade as I can on this Retro Paradise brush by e.l.f. and put this on the lid. Oh wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. Do the same thing on the other eye. Just gonna put a little bit more of that deep color on the outer corner. I don't know if the fact that it's broken made it perform better or worse, but it definitely works broken. But definitely a fan of that eyeshadow quad. Next up for mascara, the most recommended one was this NYX Worth the Hype mascara, and I've actually never tried this before. I don't know why, but I just haven't been super into NYX lately, so maybe this will change my mind. The wand looks promising. It looks very volumizing. So I'm just gonna apply this super generously. Definitely coated my lashes really quickly and is already starting to build up volume, but it's not clumpy at all. So this seems like one of those mascaras you could really build up to the level of intensity that you want. Like just the one coat right there, I feel like would be a really good kind of everyday mascara because it separates the lashes, it blackens the lashes, it gave me some volume, it gave me some lift, but it's not too dramatic. And with a second coat, oh yeah, wow, this layers beautifully. Oh my goodness, yes. Look at that. Another great recommendation. I just need to do these videos like monthly, and you guys can tell me what's amazing at the drugstore because I am blown away by these recommendations. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Love this. Before I do my bottom lashes, I'm actually gonna take that transition shade. I don't want to tip this over again, but that light shade on the top right of this quad on a Wet n Wild pencil brush and put that along my lower lash line. All right, now I'm just gonna do a really light coat on my lower lashes. I'm gonna let that dry for a minute before I go in with the eyeliner you guys recommended, which I'm also really excited to try. All right, next up is lipstick. I didn't get a lip liner suggestion, so I'm gonna go in with my trusty Milani Understatement lip liner. This was from the Salt and Peppa collaboration. This is the shade Shoop, and just line my lips. And then the recommended lipstick is something I've never tried, and it is the Almay Go Wild collection. This has two different formulas. It has creams and mattes. I chose one of the matte shades. This is the shade 120 Go Wild, which is, surprise, surprise, it's a nude shade. And I'm just gonna apply this all over. This is a really creamy matte lipstick. Like it's not one of those really dry feeling matte lipsticks. It goes on like butter. And this shade is everything. I love this shade. It's like a perfect nudie pink shade. I'm gonna be using this regularly, so thank you so much for that recommendation. All right, and now for the eyeliner. I think I might actually tight line my lower lash line too. I haven't done that in forever. And you guys recommended this LA Girl Glide Gel Liner. So I'm gonna use this to tight line my upper lash line and maybe even my lower lash line. Oh wow, look how black that is. It just went on so easily, no tugging, no pulling. And let's just break the rules and do it in the lower lash line as well, which I never ever do anymore. Ooh, I haven't done that in forever. My eyes are watering. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit on the outer part of my eye. Wow, this is so pigmented. And just kind of blend that up for like a tiny bit of a cat eye effect. And that is everything. Those were the hidden gems you guys recommended. I am blown away, and I will definitely be incorporating a lot of these products into my everyday makeup. I feel like this was one of my favorite videos to film because I'm genuinely shocked and surprised by so many of these products, and it's all thanks to you guys for recommending these. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up so that I know you like these types of videos. Don't forget to subscribe while you are here, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.